Yeah. So, guys, for anyone who wasn't aware, in the recent week, we lost Chadwick Boseman, the age of 43, to colon cancer, which is a major issue or major killer of black people, actually, and a lot of people don't know that, which is why it is heavily important for people to get regular checkups, to speak to their GPs or practitioners, and just check in with their health. Currently, most people will know of someone who has died from cancer or is currently battling cancer. One of my closest friends from secondary school is currently dealing with ovarian cancer. And it's quite sad because during the lockdown, she found out that she is at stage 2 and it's quite aggressive, and you'd think like, you always think, oh, in your early 30s and that, oh, life just starts at 30 and blah, blah, blah. Cancer's like what old ladies and old men get. And you just sort of like, you're blasé about it, but it really does hit home. And it's mad because her sister is also currently dealing with cancer and her sister's even younger than us. I've lost 3 of my aunties and my godmother to cancer. So it's very much something that is around you, but you're kind of just like, you don't think about it. You kind of put it on the back burner and you're like, yeah. And I just think it's crazy because my auntie Elaine, she had so much going for her. She was a hustler. She owned a house in Dulwich Village, and anyone from the ends knows, like, to have a yard there, it's mad. Like, and she was a hard worker all through her cancer, and it went, and then it came back, and then the second time round, it took her away. So I just think it's crazy how, and I don't know how to say this, but I'm just gonna say it. There's a lot of us that don't have nothing wrong with us and we're just lazy and we all have the same 24 hours. But when you find out your life is in the, like, the hanging line or the strings, and you're still pushing through, like Chadwick was, he had cancer for how long? And 4 years.
And
he was
still
films, Black Panther, all them other things he was doing, all the charity organizations. The man and was still, and people were basically trolling him, saying he was a crackhead and he'd lost weight when really the man was dying, like suffering. So sometimes it's really, it's a bit, it's the whole narrative of you never know what people are going through behind closed doors.
Very true.
And people should really think before they say certain things. And I just feel like, it's just, I just want to, give my condolences and show my gratitude and just big up him and his family because they really were going through, their own struggle and their battle behind closed doors. And my auntie too, who worked so hard for everything. And, it's so mad. They say when you die, it shows you like who the person was, and you see how much people show up, people that you didn't see for years. My auntie's funeral was packed with people I hadn't seen since I was probably like 10 years old. Like, it was crazy, and there was just so much love there. And I just feel like sometimes, why do people wait till it's too late? Why are you gonna show me how you feel about me when I can't say anything back to you? Do you get what I mean? So I just feel
that's
like,
a typical kind of
scenario.
Like,
that needs to stop. I think the good thing about the lockdown is it's really changed a lot of people's perception on friendships and stuff. Like, with my friendship groups, like, we're not very much like, oh, babe, love you, oh my God. But now, it's like, sis, I love you, like, real talk, I'm just checking in on you, sis, because you ain't called me if you, like, it's really done, it's had a sort of positive effect on friendships and relationships, I'm not gonna lie. So that's my...
I've had more than a few people that have suffered with cancer. My grandma was probably the first ever person for me to actually even know that had cancer. I can't remember the age I was. I might have been 13 or 14 at the time. And that was the grandma that I used to always get sent to because I was naughty. So, do you remember Ready Steady Cook?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
the green
she used to love Ainsley.
Yeah.
So anytime, like, obviously you don't see him so much on TV now, but back then you'd see him and it would just remind me of my grandma.
Yeah.
But like raw, like, and anytime I used to go there, I used to hate going there, but I'd never get in trouble.
Yeah.
Like that, like raw, like,
and that was your punishment as well. Yeah.
Because obviously I'm gonna feel like I'm bored, but I used to beg her, oh, can I go out and play, please, grandma, let me go out and play. So that was like the first encounter to learning about cancer, and then as I grew older, there's one of my close school friends, like proper close. He had cancer in his face just before his wedding. Like, I remember his wedding was coming up, and my thing is if you ask him, anytime that he has to prepare for something, we get fit. So he was getting ready for his wedding. So I said, cool, we got to go jogging, we got to go and do this thing. And I've always done that with him right from when we was kids. And then it started growing. And then before you know it, it was the growth from the time that it first started growing to the point where it finished, where they cut it out, was crazy.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a joke.
It's
like
rapid.
it grows
It is
overnight. And then obviously, he dealt with that. And obviously, I won't talk too much on it because obviously it's his story, innit? And I'd allow him to actually explain his story. And then I got people currently that are suffering with it right now as we speak. Yeah. And it's sad. It really is sad. It's kind of one of those things that you can't tell people how to choose to live their life.
You can't.
And also, we don't know what the actual trigger is. If it's a trigger, if it's, I have conversations all the time. Oh, it's the food and it's the diet that we eat. But then there's also radiation. There's also pollution. There's also mental health, stress. Anything can trigger it, innit? Like, so there's so many factors and it becomes a snowball effect once it's there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's sad. And I'm just hoping that anyone that I know right now, like obviously this is me just saying what I'm saying. Anyone that's dealing with cancer right at this second, like, just keep strong. But you got to keep strong here first, in the brain. Yeah, and hopefully you lot will get through it. But don't stop living life. Don't just see it as like, oh, do you know what? I've got a year or I've got 2 years because the doctor said. That's not guaranteed. You might have 5 years, you might have 6 years. But you got to have it here first in the mind and be like, do you know what? I'm going to get through this. Don't defeat yourself.
Because once you give up in your mind, your body follows.
That's it.
Yeah.
You're finished. You know? Yeah. Anyone else got any?
Most definitely. For me, one of my friends passed away. I think it's been about 2 years now since she passed. She had breast cancer, and that was hard because I had no clue. And then one day there was just a voice note in the group saying, guys, this is what it is. Like, it's funny because I saw her cut her hair and I thought, oh my God, it's empowering, like what she was doing, but not putting two and two together. And then there was a voice note in the group and I cried. I cried. I'll probably cry now.
It's all
right. Sorry. Because I know exactly how you feel. This was me the other week. Because my friend she don't want to even get medicine. She's letting it just...
Yeah, no, it's mad.
So, yeah, and there's nothing I can do. It's
all I can say is that she was the strongest fucking person I know to this day. Like, over anyone. And she rolls with me. So, yeah. Got it, man.
Is that a tattoo?
So we all of us have got it.
My friends
I just fucked up my whole makeup
for
this shit, bruv. But yeah, nah. She's my G, man. She's my G.
I like how you say she's your G.
She's my G.
You don't talk about it.
Nah, bruv. She's my G.
Yeah.
She's my G. But yeah.
It's sad, isn't it? It's very hard sort of thing because it can happen to any of us. There's no like, we can sit and go, oh, that can never happen to me, but it can. And you know what, like that saying where they say, don't ever think nothing can happen to you, because the time that you think it ain't, it's gonna happen. And anything, and I put this out there, and this is a little bit off topic when it comes to the cancer thing, but you see any nonsense that anyone's done or they might tease someone about something, try and know at some point it might just come back around and bite you.
If it's out of their choice, especially.
Yes, exactly.
I always say that. Judge people or make fun of things that are someone's choice. Like, I could laugh at you for being vegan, that's your choice. But if I laugh at Rich for not necessarily being the tallest man in the room, that's bad, man.
What are we laughing at, Missy?
I'm 6'2", by the way.
Like, you can laugh at me because my bum's big, innit? Like, that's like a disability to some people, but
I can't cope, man.
Let's make it like we need to get the energy back up.
No, I can't with you.
This is too much.
You fucking said it's a disability for some people.
Innit? Like, obviously, like, I'm gonna start a GoFundMe.
What, for your ass?
For my bum. So yeah.
For a reduction.
But no, on another serious note as well. Yeah. Because I'm always like, when I found out that my friend had cancer recently, it's been in the last 3 weeks. I remember I kept getting hospital letters saying that I need to come in. Miss Beck, clean to come in for a smear test. I was like, smear test, whatever, man. I'll do it later. When she told me, the way I was on my fridge rummaging through them letters, I was like, yo, let me find this letter now because I need.
It's funny.
Not a joke.
It's funny because you
need
do
to get,
all of
because
those
it could be
things
happening.
that you take for granted.
Yeah.
It instantly makes you
Like,
think,
ladies,
oh my gosh.
go and get your smear
think-
test done.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it
As
might feel
males, though,
uncomfortable,
again,
but that's better than losing your life.
And
Like,
you know what?
Males are
A
a
friend,
bit
sorry,
less.
I'm so sorry to cut you, but for someone if you know someone that's going through it, the one thing that they don't want your sympathy.
Yeah.
They don't want none of that.
Yep.
You just got to be as strong as they are for them.
But
Do
me,
you
you
feel
know
me?
what's hard? When
mad.
she told me over the phone, she told me on my daughter's birthday in July, yeah? She told me over the phone, I cried, but I didn't cry too much. The day I got to her house, I drove to her house like 2 weeks later. I coached myself in the car on the way there. Because like I said, I know how I come across, but I'm a softie inside. In the car, I was like, do not cry, bitch. When you get there, remember, it's not you dying, it's her.
No, but
Don't
you
do
got
this.
to. You have to
I
do all of
got
that.
to
No
her
word of a lie.
yard, and as soon as
She
she
opened the door, you was in tears,
I,
innit?
I fell. Like, I was on the floor, I was crying, my eyes, I was like, Jenny, oh my God, like, I was holding her so tight, like, she
mad.
fell asleep on the sofa, and I was holding her hand, and I was like, oh my God, like, I might not be able to see my friend again, like, I'm trying to take it in.
Yeah.
Literally, I was like, do you want me to bring anything? She was like, bring me a bottle of Ray. I was like, okay, bought the
Yep.
Ray. I've never seen anyone back Ray without a chaser. She finished the whole bottle. Her man was like, this is normal. I was like, no, it's not. Like, you can't let her do that.
Yeah.
It's crazy, and it's so sad because the people going through it, I can never imagine what it's like to feel like your life is slipping away from you. But the people around you as well, it fucks us up. Because even if they go, I said to her, this situation is not permanent. I said, if you die, the situation ends. If you don't die, the situation ends. I'm here regardless. I'll be by you the whole way. And I mean that. Like, it's not a joke. You need to support. People going through that, they don't, like you said, they don't want you to baby them and walk on eggshells. They want you to remain normal.
Listen, they're living more. They're living fast. They're living everything more. Like, it's nuts. It's actually crazy. Like,
So, Rich,
Go on,
we know
Rich.
that you're doing something positive at the moment for
Yep.
cancer. So, yeah, we'll put our hands together for
can I
Rich.
just say I entered the draw twice? 2 different emails. So just saying.
Reach is going hard.
Listen, £4 worth
Trying to win. Nah, alright, yeah.
Tell us about it. Let's get to the mic.
Alright, so I decided to do a raffle for cancer the other week, and it finishes next week. Basically, with my situation, it's like when I was locked up, right? I got like everyone calls it my sister, yeah, but it's actually she was my cousin, but she raised me, innit? I didn't live with my mum, so it's my sister through school, everything. It's my sister. Do you get what I'm saying? And like when I got a phone call when I was in jail, and they're just saying, yo, she's got like a week to live. I was like, what? Remember, I've been in jail like 3.5 years now. So you don't see people, so it's like it don't really affect you. Someone dies when you're in jail and you ain't seen them for time. It's not even. You ain't seen them anyway, so it's like it's not in your head. You get what I'm saying? I'm like, what? So I'm like, I got a week to live. I was like, wow. So I've had to go there, but they didn't want me to go. So it's like we've gone, and they've chained me up anyway. So I've got like about a couple weeks left on my sentence. In fact, wow, yeah. So I've done 4.5 years, sorry, yeah. And I've gone there. They've chained me up. So I've gone to see her on a hospital bed and that, and she's got a week to live. This is what I'm saying, got a week to live, and it's like I'm there. And they would not let me like hug her or nothing like that. You get what I'm saying? But she's happy as hell. Like she's happy. You get me? She's cheery on the bed. She's happy on the bed. It's gas. You get what I'm saying? And it's like I seen her, and it's like, all right, I'm trying to be, I ain't mentioned nothing about the situation. We're just talking about
Normal
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, so you've just gone to visit her, innit?
Like my personality already, so it's like we just bare jokey stuff, innit? You get me? And I think I had like about 45 minutes, and I was there, and then obviously I couldn't take no pictures or I couldn't do nothing, so I'm not allowed to touch nobody in it. So and the way I'm chained up in it's long. So and that happened, and then when I left, obviously I heard she broke down, and then she passed away in it. So you get me?
The same day.
I think it was like the night after, yeah.
Oh
so
my God.
you get me? So
She needed to see you.
yeah, she waited because they was waiting. I think to get me out. I think they said she had a week
maddest
to get
thing,
me out.
man.
I think
It's
she waited a
maddest
couple
thing.
weeks to get me.
Man.
Yeah, so
Wow.
obviously as I left now, when that's happened, I said, she's passed. So I was like, I got back and I was like, all right, cool. But like, for me, that's the closest person in my life. Like, it's not just, you know what I mean? It's like, So it don't like it's mad because she done everything. So when I got out, it's like I'm still looking for her, which is crazy because she ain't gone. Because like I said, you don't see people for 3 years. It's like you don't. It's the same. You get out, you don't see them, but you know that she's all right. Yeah, a phone call, I drive past the house. I'm thinking, yo, knock the door, man. But I can't. Obviously, she's not gonna be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's like this is what happened. So for me, it's a big thing. And she was going to the hospital for, I think, about a year, complaining. Something's wrong with my back. And in the end, she's gone to a private place and that. And I said, listen, you're riddled. You know what I mean? And they could have found that a year ago. You get what I'm saying? So you have to do,
It's a numbers game.
you have to do extensive checks.
Yeah, remember
You
they
get
don't
me?
see us as family or friends.
Nah.
We're just numbers.
Yeah, do you get
The
me?
pharmaceutical companies
That's
as well,
what it
it's
is.
all business.
You know
So-
what? The story that you just it touched me because obviously I say my grandma, but
Yeah.
it was actually my granddad's mum.
Yeah.
So
But
your great grandma.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
great grandma, and obviously we used to call her Brown Nanny.
Yeah.
That was like her name, innit? We used to call her Brown Nanny, and I used to always feel like she did the exact same thing. She waited because I remember me and my
Yeah.
mum going to see her in the hospital, and we were sitting down beside her talking and that, and she didn't even smoke much. Like when obviously she's in the hospital, she didn't speak much. And I remember us walking, and we're leaving and that, and I turned round and I waved, and she found enough energy and power to wave back.
Yeah.
See, the next day, that was it.
Yeah.
So
Do you know what I mean? And
it's
it's
that
similar
serious.
to, like I've got like extensive family that we grew together in it. Like so, I deem them as family.
Yeah.
Exact same thing. And I remember being in the hospital with her, and whilst everybody was, I'm not against smokers. People want to smoke. You do what you want to do, but they were downstairs smoking,
Yeah.
and I was upstairs with her, and we was just talking and going back and forth, and then like a couple of days later, it's that same thing. And I feel like sometimes they find this energy, this power to continue right to the end. So it's not like a lifeless thing for weeks on end.
No.
They're actually got life in them,
Yeah.
and it's just taking me back to where that story's taking me back to just thinking
Right
about
there,
those
innit?
two scenarios with
Yeah.
elderly people that are very much cared and loved.
Come
do you know
on.
what I mean? Like they were there
Yeah.
for me the same way I was there for them. Do you get what I'm saying? Like you used to always bake my cakes. Like when I got chucked out when I was a youngster,
For being bad.
for being
Bad.
yeah, obviously, like she used to bake my cake. She used to bake like a marble cake with like marble icing and that.
Come on.
And that was her thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, and then obviously my great grandma, Brown Nanny, her thing was, well, you come, you watch Ready Steady Cook.
You don't
I
forget.
used to beg her because where my primary school was, so I used to get sent there from primary school to her house for being bad, and then secondary school for being
Yeah.
bad.
So you don't forget, bro. You
You know what
don't
I'm saying?
forget.
And
Yeah. You don't
it used to
forget.
be the same pattern, and I used to beg her like, "Rob, can I go out and play with my friends? Just football on the grass, you'll be able to see me." And she used to have a dog called Patch. He used to be like like a bear, like that. Like it was all white with a black patch.
Yeah.
And then obviously when she passed, I inherited a stool.
Yeah. Oh,
Her
yeah.
stool
Come
that
on.
she used to always sit outside with. That was
Still
her
have it?
stool. It was at my mum's, and God knows where it's gone now. Because obviously when I cut from my mum's,
Yeah.
I didn't take it with me, innit? Because we were young and all the rest of it. And then
Can I just say like this is a big thing, and like these things, like I said, they affect people's like you said, other people, and affect people's mental health, and like this is what I'm saying, like it's a massive thing. You get what I'm saying? And I think like everyone has to understand that like this affects everyone. You know what I mean? Like everyone, to the point where you can have friends that are suffering from it, and then before you know it, it could be you.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And it's like, wow, you know what I mean? And I've made this brand, Rich. Also, the original name to Rich, if you look on socials, it's actually Crystal Rich, and that's her. That's her name. You get what I'm saying?
Do you know
I
So-
saw that the other day, you know.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why.
That other day, yeah.
Yeah, so that's why it's the original brand is called Crystal Rich Clothing, and that's obviously in for
In
my
memory of
sister.
her.
So tell
In
us-
memory for my sister. Yeah.
Tell us a bit about your raffle, what the giveaway is, how you enter, how you find yourself.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's for a good cause, and I think that it's
Yeah.
very important that
So
we put that out there, and hopefully we'll be doing many more kind of raffle things amongst us and in and around Convo Nation, because
I
it's
feel
all
like
for
we
a
should
good
do.
cause.
I feel like we should do the muddy runner.
what's the model one?
Convonation muddy runner.
Yeah, we could do
the
that,
run,
we could
the
do
muddy
that.
run, the salt course that
Yeah.
you do through
Oh yeah,
mud and all
light
that
work.
for cancer.
But
I'll be one trailing behind. Bro.
let me what is it?
So how we finding you? How we
Instagram.
get
So
involved in
Instagram,
the
obviously, Rich Domain. You know my page. You know, don't act like you know
And
my
if you
page.
can't find it, convo_nation.
Yeah.
And all the info will
At.
be on there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're at, innit?
We'll link
So
it in the
yeah,
bio.
Yeah,
innit?
yeah,
we're
link
linking the bio, and obviously just click the bio.
And it's
Register
£2
£2, and I'm just giving away a load of stuff. It's probably like a lot of stuff.
A
'Cause,
Porsche, a Bentley, a yard in Hampton,
and
holiday to Dubai,
Dinner at the Shard.
yeah,
Trip to
Novi
Dubai.
yeah,
Grove,
all of that.
shopping spree.
Oh,
in some
Come on.
Hakkasan. There's a
places.
Hakkasan thing on there
Hakkasan.
too.
But furthermore, what we could do,
And a swimming
just off
pool.
the top of my head, the person that wins the goodie bag, we could do a Convo Nation where we take them for something to eat, so they could come out to eat.
Who's
with
paying?
us.
He is.
Yeah,
Yo,
no.
that's what we're doing.
No, but I mean, like, we could just go for
So
lunch.
the Shang-
Yeah.
the
We could go for
Shangri-La.
lunch. It doesn't have to be nothing major. It could we go for
Your
lunch.
name's Mr. ATM Lowit. You're
Nando.
Oh, we could
Tap
go
that
for.
money.
All right. We could go for
Lunch
coffee.
is- lunch. Nah,
We
lunch.
could go for
Happy
coffee and
hours.
a bagel.
At his house.
Lunch
Happy
can
hours.
work. Lunch can work.
your
Remember,
spot, innit?
remember, I give
Yeah, yeah.
50% to charity,
Yeah.
and then obviously 50% goes back to
Conversation.
No, to back to
Back to
regenerate.
rich,
to
yeah.
regenerate. You get me, but
regenerate because the cause
yeah,
is.
you get what I'm
No,
saying.
most
So I
definitely.
mean, lunch can be included once we put that through Convo Nation,
Yeah.
and then that can also come
That would
out
be
of
dope, actually.
out of my
I'm
budget
down for
as
that.
well.
Yeah.
You get me? That's
Most
cool.
definitely, yeah.
You get me? So 100%. We can get eating.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, we'll figure out a way to actually keep supporting Rich's cause and the rest of the causes that
Yeah.
are dealing with cancer.
Keep trying
And
to
maybe we could probably put something together, but we'll talk about that off air.
Yeah. Keep kicking
Um,
cancer's ass.
Yeah.
That's it. Let's keep
go.
doing it.
And
I would say I'll do a sponsored silence, but you know I can't be quiet for shit. So
And
Are
all
we
my
doing-
people suffering right now.
Twerk off.
You know, come on, you my prayers. You
are
already
we
know.
doing a Wakanda forever? Are
we
gonna-
do sure am. On 3, guys. 1, 2,
I mean,
3. Bruv, come on.
Alright.
Hey,
well, because I'm the African one, yeah.
well,
Oh,
babes.
don't go with that.
Well,
You're just taking